Michael Cohen, Trump's former lawyer, his lawyer was busted in order to come to court in what's an order to show cause, something that lawyers do not like to get. It's basically the judge saying, can you please come to the principal's office, please? I'd like to talk to you about your conduct. And this involves a request by Cohen and his lawyers to terminate his probation. He wanted to get off probation for his criminality. You know, the guy's a liar, a convicted perjurer. He was the key witness against Trump in Tishy's case in New York, maybe the sole reason the case was even brought. Now, this guy is not happy. Our friend Inner City Press was reporting this. He says, here's an update. Just ran into Michael Cohen leaving 40 Foley Square by the side entrance. He did not look happy. Why is that? Well, because the judge is calling his lawyer to court, and it's not a nice reason to go to court. So I want to share with you what the original letter said so that you can see some of the alleged fakery. Here is what Cohen's lawyer sent into the judge. And this came out, filed with the court, 11/29. It's a 5-pager. It says, Dear Judge Furman, in the case of United States versus Michael Cohen. Now, please be advised that my name is David Schwartz, and I represent Michael Cohen. You see, he signed the letter down here. Now, judge is not happy with him. He says, okay, here's the deal, Your Honor. I represent Cohen for the sole purpose of seeking intervention in trying to get Cohen off of supervised release, right? Get him off of probation. Now, December 6th, we made an application to you, and you said it was premature. And the court stated that the decision is close. You weren't sure, but you said, no, it's too soon. But you said file it again, and we filed it again in June. And again, you denied our second request. You said, you know, he hasn't shown compelling reasons why he should be off this. And so we again denied it. Okay. So Cohen is really trying to get off this. And now watch what happens. Now, Mr. Cohen's term of supervised release commenced on November 22nd. He's now served more than 2/3 of his 3-year term. We believe he's got 2 years done. Please let him off. And here's why. They say there's been a substantial change in circumstances. Okay. Michael Cohen, he testified at Tishy Letitia's trial for 2 days straight in the case against Donald Trump. And that's where Attorney General Tishy credited Michael Cohen for the whole investigation. We wouldn't have even been able to do this without Michael Cohen, said Tish. He endured 2 days of grueling cross-examination and his testimony has been widely lauded and publicized. Now, the United States Attorney in our applications has continued to challenge the value of the cooperation of Cohen. The U.S. Attorney's like, who cares? Well, who cares what he did? I'm not giving him less probation. Now, they say because he testified, and you see how they're leveraging this, like they're telling the judge. Now, I don't know who this judge is, but they're like, Judge, he's talking about Trump badly. He's testifying badly against Trump. Now, with this new testimony, there can be no doubt of Mr. Cohen's continued commitment to comply with all government agencies. Cohen's unwavering cooperation with the multitude of the investigative bodies, including 7 congressional hearings, 23 meetings this dude had with Manhattan DA, 2 days of grand jury testimony in front of the New York jurors, as well as 2 days of draining testimony with Tishy Letitia's trial in New York. They say this has played a pivotal role in uncovering and prosecuting wrongdoing, right? This is all the things this dude is doing to take out Trump. Now, his willingness to come forward and provide truthful accounts of his experience, despite the dangers and harm that it might cause him, shows that he has an exceptional level of remorse and a commitment to upholding the law that cannot be denied by anybody. Specifically, he was on the stand for more than 10 hours, and he provided damning evidence of Trump's organized, alleged business misconduct. Now, I want to pause for a quick minute and just take a look. Judge Furman, let's see who he was appointed by. Let's see. Who appointed him? Here, he earned a bachelor's degree. He went to Yale Law School. He served as a district court judge. He clerked there, and then he clerked for the associate judge. He was appointed by Barack Obama, right? So that makes sense. So they're writing for the judge. Barack Obama appointed this guy. He's in the Southern District of New York. Harry Reid was involved in it. And so they're writing for the judge, right? That's why that language looks like it looks. So they're saying, look, he was involved in taking out your political opponents, right? Now, I'm not saying the judge is buying that. He knows who he's writing to. He's considering the audience, including testifying that he and other executives, Cohen, he says that he inflated the value of Trump's assets to secure favorable loans. They say Cohen, his testimony was critical in the attorney general's case, in that he testified that the Trump organization would instruct them to boost their numbers. And it must be acknowledged that Cohen will again be called in March 2024 as a key witness in the Manhattan DA's trial. So that's Alvin Bragg. Now, these testimonies do not come without substantial anxiety and stress. So he's telling the judge, look, we're going after Trump. Now, an additional change in circumstances is that probation officer is also supporting us. Okay, we talked to probation officer. Her name is Sandra. Sandra said that Mr. Cohen has been compliant, he's satisfied the terms, and he's satisfied he's got no criminal charges, blah, blah, blah. He's been good. Now, under the code, they say we're authorized to ask for a reconsideration here, and given the public nature of Cohen's prosecution, it's widely acknowledged that Mr. Cohen has endeavored to provide meaningful assistance to the government on a whole slew of issues. There's no question that him and his family have paid a heavy price, and he's taking criminal responsibilities for his actions of being a liar. Now, as recently as 2022, there have been district court decisions. Now we get to the good stuff. As recently as 2022, there have been district court decisions affirmed by the Second Circuit Court granting early termination of supervised release. Following are 3 such examples. Now, before we get there, here are the 5 things that they say Cohen has done. Okay, Cohen met with the DA's office in Manhattan, met with Tishy, met with the Southern District of New York, met with Jack Smith. He met with Jack Smith 10 times in the Mueller probe. No, he met with Mueller a bunch of times. He also met with Congress a bunch of times, just to buttress all the work that Cohen has been doing to go after Trump. Nice. Now, as recently as 2022, Cohen's lawyer says it's clear. There are 3 district court decisions that have already been affirmed by the Second Circuit. Let me explain them. 1, United States versus Figueroa Flores, Second Circuit 2022. United States versus Ortiz, Second Circuit 2022. And United States versus Amato, again, May 10th, 2022. Man, 3 cases, all from the Second Circuit? That's fast. So this case, they say the first one, involves a defendant who had been convicted of possession of cocaine. The Second Circuit affirmed the decision that they could terminate his probation early, right? So that supports Michael Cohen. Here's this one. This guy was sentenced to 120 months in prison, evidently. United States versus Ortiz. Second Circuit affirmed that decision and said you can terminate probation, no problem. And the last case, United States versus Amato. The Second Circuit affirmed that and said, no, you can terminate probation early. Wow, 3 amazing cases. Now, the factors that you also need to consider before you get someone off is whether the nature and seriousness of the offense, he's just a liar, okay, he's not a murderer. The nature of his criminal convictions, okay, I think maybe has one other, I don't know. His compliance with supervised release, okay, he complies. He's rehabilitating himself, whatever, and he's not a danger to the community. So they say, look, it should be noted that if there's anyone who fits the profile for termination of probation supervised release, it's Cohen's. In the 25 months since his home confinement, he's shown that he's meeting all his conditions. He has done 24 hours of government providing support, and so we would respectfully venture that Cohen serves no risk of recidivism. All the goals of supervision have been prepared. He's already served his 36-month prison sentence and was released early, and he's already done all the things. By the way, he never got credited for his First Step Act points, and Mr. Cohen reached out to people to get answers on this. So we're asking that you consider the totality of the circumstances, get rid of the rest of his time. It's never the wrong time to do the right thing, and Cohen has already paid for his crimes, right? You get it. Now, it's worth noting that he faced hardship because of supervised release. Oh, in a society where last-minute plans are the norm, jumping on a plane to visit his parents, one of whom is a Holocaust survivor, pulling on those heartstrings, is impossible. Let's take a look at this judge. Wonder why he put that in there. Judge Furman, Juris Doctor JD, clerk, career, federal service, notable cases, personal. So he continues on. He says, spontaneous visits to friends or family outside of the boroughs are non-existent. He's on supervised travel, and so he can't get on international travel as well. This is frustrating and stressful. And also, Mr. Cohen was invited to go speak at Oxford in Britain. That tells you everything you need to know about Oxford, the Oxford Union, whatever that is. The Oxford, is that Oxford? I don't know what that is. The Oxford Union in Britain was going to have Michael Cohen speak. Now, in sum and substance, they say, look, Mr. Cohen has complied with the First Step Act in every way, shape, or form. He's clearly demonstrated he's rehabilitated. He pays his tax bills when there's due. He was a model prisoner, committed no infractions, and he is the perfect candidate to be discharged so that the wider community can be tempered by mercy. Justice is tempered by mercy. Respectfully submitted, David M. Schwartz, or ChatGPT. I don't really know. But here we're going to see what the response is from the judge. Now, pay close attention to this section here where he tells us about these cases. And this is important. You got to really cite your cases in the court. They say, all right, cases United States of America versus Mike Cohen, convicted perjurer, 2 pages, order to show cause. That's a no-no slip. Your lawyer has been called to the principal's office. The judge is writing to Michael Cohen's lawyer, says, on November 29th, David Schwartz, counsel for Michael Cohen, he filed a motion for early termination of supervised release, the file that we just read. Now, in the letter brief, Mr. Cohen, through his lawyer, asserts notes that, quote, as recently as 2022, those 3 cases we saw, there have been district court decisions that were affirmed by the Second Circuit Court, granting early termination of supervised release. And the court, when they read that, they're like, there have? That's crazy. 3 Second Circuit opinions that are literally on point for exactly what you need? Incredible. He then cites and describes 3 such examples, the cases we just saw, Figueroa Flores, Ortiz, and Amato. But as far as the court can tell, none of these cases exist. Oops. And the court is apparently not alone in being unable to find these cases. New counsel entered a notice of appearance on Mr. Cohen's behalf after the government opposed his motion, and when they got the court's permission, they filed a reply letter. Now, the reply letter asserts that many courts in this district have granted early termination of supervised release in similar circumstances, and after citing to various cases, mostly by the docket number, includes the following footnote. They say such rulings rarely result in reported decisions. Now, while several cases were cited in the initial motion filed by different counsel, undersigned counsel was not engaged at that time and must inform the court that it has been unable to verify those citations. They tell us. Now, none of these cases even exist. This page, the 64th whatever citation, refers to a page in the middle of a 4th Circuit decision, and the 4th Circuit decision is not the 2nd Circuit, and that has nothing to do with supervised release. And they say here it's actually this case in the 4th Circuit 2023. Now, they gave us this number, which corresponds to a decision of the Board of Veterans Appeals. Don't even know what that is. And this citation from Westlaw, the WL, that appears to correspond to literally nothing at all. Have no idea where it came from. And so the court contacted the clerk of the court for the 2nd Circuit, like we actually called them, which is what they do, and they found no record of any of these 3 decisions at all. And they reported that the one listed docket number for Ortiz is not a valid docket number. Oops. Now, in light of the foregoing, the court says Mr. Schwartz, the lawyer, and Mr. Cohen, no later than December 19th, shall provide copies of the 3 cited decisions to the court. So I don't know where they're going to get him. Now, if he's unable to do so by the 19th, okay, if he can't get these documents over to us, then Mr. Schwartz, Cohen's lawyer, shall by the same date shall cause in writing why he should not be sanctioned pursuant to the rules of civil procedure and the inherent power of this court for citing non-existent cases to the court. How dare you do that to us? Your Honor, hey, dumb court of appeals, dumb judge, grant this. Here's my authority for it. It's not real. Any such submission shall take the form of a sworn declaration and shall provide, among other things, a thorough explanation of how the motion came to cite cases that do not exist and what role, if any, Mr. Cohen played in drafting or reviewing the motion before it was filed. Oh, man. And the court will reserve judgment on Mr. Cohen's pending motion pending the above submission. Signed by Judge Jesse M. Furman. Not happy about that at all, because who knows what Cohen was saying. Cohen might have said, I'm a lawyer, I'm super smart, and so I did the research on this case. Hey, just include it. Like, that could absolutely happen. I can totally envision that. Cohen sending Schwartz something, right? These 2 guys just say, trading business, whatever. Cohen says, hey, mention the Holocaust survivor thing, right? Put that in there. Hey, go after the Trump stuff. Put that in there, right? Cohen is just kind of articulating what needs to go in there, and now the judge is saying, I want to know who drafted this. Where'd it come from? And why did you just include made up cases to me? That's not good in court, right? That is like really bad, all right? Especially in a motion like this. So now that does not bode well for Cohen's request to get his probation and his termination released early. Probably not going to be happening now, especially if Cohen had any involvement in drafting that filing. Not a good day. And you can see why Michael Cohen is not happy about it at all. And so another fun one, my friends. This guy just keeps stepping in it, keeps lying and getting convicted of perjury, now is trying to recreate his whole career against Trump and apparently citing the non-existent cases. And who knows where those came from? There's a lot of AI tools there that just make stuff up. They're just basically word calculators and they just assemble words. So who knows if they came from there or maybe not. Maybe they'll come back and they'll have the actual documents and they'll show them to the court. But we'll be looking forward to covering this one and to seeing where the penalties may lie. Thanks for subscribing, my friends. Thanks for checking out our new shop at robertgovea.com, grabbing a new hat, learn about our watcher symbol, what it means. It's Justitia. It's our watcher watching over everybody, and it is a lot of fun. So check it out, robertgovea.com/shop. Thanks for supporting the show. We'll look forward to seeing you back here on the next one.